Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411. We are back to only talking about Lucky-ish. So at the end of our previous episode, which was Liz and Lucky part 10, I believe. Was it part 10? Lucky and Liz part 9. Wait, it is going to be part 10 because part 10's this week. I already have scheduled. Okay. So at the end of Lucky and Liz part 10, Lucky, quote, died in the fire.
Yes.
And then I did a little bit of digging on Curly Cute Girl's page, and I found there was one that was kind of mislabeled. So it actually goes more in depth into Lucky's, quote, death. So this touches on the aftermath of his death and how, Liz feels and everything. But I don't feel like it's Lucky and Liz necessarily because they aren't together.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Or should we do it as Lucky and Liz part 11?
I don't know. No, I think because we'll have to do Liz eventually.
Okay. So, but it also follows more of what's going on behind the scenes or with Lucky in captivity. So the next couple weeks is this whole storyline that happened behind the scenes. And we were not done with Jonathan Jackson yet. He still had another month on the show. He's who we see tied up or being held captive.
Right.
So I misspoke there. So again, just using Curly Q Girl. Kind of overlaps with what we talked about last week where Luke and Laura found out about Lucky, Liz found out about Lucky, but it kind of digs a little bit deeper into it. We start off with Laura asking Luke if he has actually seen Lucky because it still could be a mistake. So they're at the fire scene. He says no, because I had to get to you first. She gets up and starts calling out Lucky's name. Luke grabs her and makes her sit down. As she calms down, she starts asking how the fire started. Was it an accident or something to do with Marino? Luke says he doesn't know, but he will find out. They leave together to go to the morgue to identify the body. Haggart asks Liz what is on the chain. He said it looks like a subway token. It must be something important. She tells him it was from their trip to New York. Haggart tells her that he needs it just for a little while, and he promises to get it back to her quickly. She gives it to him. I think that was he trying to get fingerprints? Do you think?
I'm assuming DNA because it said earlier that Lucky was wearing it. Like that's how she knew it was Lucky's body.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. So it was actually part of, I was just thinking that she was wearing it, but it was, thank you for remembering that already.
Sure.
She tells him about their dinner and then about Lucky calling her. Taggart walks by Sonny and tells him that he and Jason will need to come down for questioning. He said, if you disappear, I will never stop looking for you.
Oof.
Luke and Laura are at the morgue. Luke goes to view the body. He sees that it is, in fact, Lucky. Laura comes in and begs to see her baby one more time. Luke finally agrees to let her. She sees Lucky and passes out. Luke catches her as she falls to the floor. As they are walking out of the morgue, Sonny and Jason walk in. Laura gets a look on her face of total devastation and calls Sonny a murderer. She reminds Sonny about the promises he made her about his violence never touching her family. She yells somethings at Sonny and blames him for Lucky's death. Then she blames Jason for letting an innocent little boy live in a place targeted for his kind. I understand Lucky is alive now, but this kind of reminds us of why we're so surprised that Laura and Sonny are friends. I'm sorry, if at one point I thought my son died because of you.
Right.
Although it winds up being the Cassadine, so it's actually her. Okay, there's that. Luke tries to get it's Helena. It's not Laura.
Right.
Luke tries to get her to leave and she turns on him. She tells Luke that he started all of this by teaching Lucky to trust people like Sonny. She says that Luke made Lucky believe he was safe with people like Sonny, and that is why he never came home. Luke throws back that he didn't have to come back. He didn't have a home to come back to, just a house of lies, and she slaps him. Haggart steps in and has an officer take Laura home. Luke walks out, leaving Sonny and Jason alone. And then Bobby is talking to Liz. They were kind of like sitting on, I'm assuming it was like the doorstep of a neighboring house. telling her that the last words you say to someone when they die aren't what's important. It's that you showed them you loved them. Audrey comes in and tries to comfort Liz. She leaves the room and Bobby shares a close moment with Audrey. Sorry, I just got in my head that we're almost at a year from when Bobby died.
Yeah.
It was such a good death that they did for her. Laura gets home and tells Nikolas that Lucky is gone. They share a very touching moment and she asks him not to leave her alone. Nikolas starts to cry, telling her about their dinner, etc. Laura tells him what a gift it was to have been able to see he and Lucky become brothers. Leslie Lou, aka Lulu, came downstairs. Laura tells her that Lucky went to heaven with the angels. Luke ends up at Kelly's and he looks through the door. He remembers doing the same thing just hours before when he saw Lucky and Liz together. He goes inside and starts remembering Lucky. They show some touching scenes such as Luke and Lucky scaring Laura on Halloween, Luke meeting Foster, Lucky finding out that Laura's pregnant with Leslie Lou, Lucky holding Leslie Lou as a newborn, and the last talk Luke had with Lucky. Bobby walks in the door and Luke finally breaks down in her arms.
I know. Emily is shattered by the news of Lucky's death. Jason prevents Carly from confronting AJ after she hears the news about Lucky and believes AJ started the fire. Nikolas goes to see Liz. He finds her in her room, still in disbelief. He brings her a shirt that Lucky left at his house when they took Lulu rollerblading just the day before. He and Liz try to make sense of what has happened. She goes in to take a bath and asks Nikolas to stay until she gets back. Then she decides to try and take a nap. Curled up with Lucky's shirt, she says it is almost like he's still there with her. Nick stays until she falls asleep. Emily knocks on Liz's bedroom door and wakes her up. Nick is at the window looking out as Liz wakes up suddenly. She cries out Lucky's name. Why did they think AJ had done it?
I'm guessing something to do with Jason.
Okay.
Like against Jason, because I think this is when they were still doing the
baby daddy stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Leslie shows up at the Spencers' home and comforts Laura. She explains that she caught the first flight to Port Charles. As they hug, Laura cries to her mother, saying she doesn't know how to not have Lucky as a son. Luke and Sonny are in Luke's in the back room. As Luke fingers a gun, he insists that Sonny tell him who set the fire at the garage if it wasn't Moreno. Sonny informs him that it could have been AJ. When Luke questions Sonny in shocked disbelief, Sonny explains that it was AJ that torched the coffee warehouse. Luke realizes that it would make more sense that it was AJ because Moreno would not have made the messy mistake of killing Lucky just to get to Sonny. Immediately after he comes to this epiphany, however, he bitterly tells Sonny that it is still Sonny's fault. Sonny once again apologizes for what has happened. Luke, glaring at Sonny, replies that there are no apologies and no excuses. He explains that he is mad because he wasn't told of the danger, and neither was Lucky, no matter where it was coming from. Luke says that Lucky is dead because of Sonny's priorities. Luke grabs the gun and his coat from his desk and heads for the door, proclaiming that he can take care of AJ and Moreno. After all, it's about time someone did. Sonny stops him short by saying, "What about Lulu?" He goes on to say that she still needs a dad too. Emily and Liz are sitting on Liz's bed as Emily comforts Liz. Nick is standing behind them listening. Emily said, "I think it's so weird that it's Nick. Did they call him Nick? I don't ever remember them calling him Nick."
I don't honestly remember either.
It was always Nicholas.
Yeah.
I remember Lucky saying Nick, insultingly, he wasn't going to bother with his whole name, but I don't ever remember it just being Nick. I dated a Nick. I feel like I would have remembered that. But anyway, Nicholas is standing behind them listening. Emily says that it seems impossible that this is happening. Liz agrees that she keeps feeling like she should be calling Lucky because he would know what to do, but then realizes that she can't do that anymore. Emily relates the situation back to her mother's death, saying that she kept wanting and waiting for her mom to show up. She felt that if she just waited long enough, her mom would come back. Emily offered for her and Nicholas to get some food for Liz. Liz accepts the favor, but before the two leave, Emily mentions that Laura would probably be planning the memorial service. As soon as Liz hears this, she insists that she has to see Laura right away. Liz, Emily, and Nicholas arrive at Laura's. Liz finds the painting of the bouquet she did for Laura on the table. After Laura greets them, she tells Liz that she was truly loved by Lucky. Liz replies that Lucky was her happiness. Laura then turns to Emily, saying that Emily was the best friend that Lucky had. They reminisce about times when they were younger. They offer their help with food, but Laura assures them that Leslie has taken care of all that. Nikolas offers to babysit for Lulu, but Laura says that Leslie has that covered too. Laura goes on to say she doesn't really know what to do next as far as the memorial service is concerned, but she does know that it will be at Mount Huron Baptist Church. Immediately, Emily says she can't. That's where Liz and Lucky spent Valentine's Day.
Back at the club, Sonny warns Luke of the dangers of trying to kill Marina or AJ. He says that Luke would no doubt be killed, Lucky would be gone, and Lulu would have no father. Revenge wouldn't bring Lucky back, Sonny explained. The only thing he can do is stick around and look after the people Lucky loved. Sonny then promises to take care of it. Luke asks why he should believe him when Sonny's words don't mean spit to him. As he walks out, he says he doesn't need Sonny's help. Sonny is in the front room of Luke's, and he announces to the staff that because of the tragic events last night, the club would be closed until further notice. He says that they will get double their normal salary to cover tips. They all clear out as he grabs a fifth of alcohol and sits at a table in visible anguish. At the Spencers, Laura apologizes to Liz, saying she didn't know about the church and that she would find someplace else for the service. Emily says that there was another church she knew of that was really pretty. She knew because her and Lucky broke into it once. Liz explained to Laura that in Mount Herons, she and Lucky made a promise to each other in front of God. She says that Lucky gave her back Valentine's Day. That's the best part.
Mm-hmm.
And her life on that night. And that is where she wanted the service to be. She wanted to remember Lucky like that. Laura thanks her and hugs her. They discuss music to be played and decide to play Mary May's song. Nikolas says he would call the church to arrange the services. Laura asks Liz if she would like to speak at the service, and Liz agrees. Liz then asks Nikolas if he would like to speak. Looking uncomfortable, he declines, saying he's sorry, but he can't. Luke is standing in front of what was the garage, but is now just a burnt shell of a building. Mike walks up from behind and tells Luke it'll be a while before the cops know what started the fire. Luke says that Mike knows what started it just as well as he does, so don't pretend with him. Mike says that he was sorry, but Luke in his own world stares up at what was once Lucky's room and laments that Lucky was simply sleeping. Nikolas explains to the group at Laura's that Luke hates him and Stefan. He and Lucky had chosen not to participate in the family feud, and if he said that at the service, it would be like a slap in the face to Luke. Lucky loved Luke just as he loves his father and doesn't want to speak because it's what Lucky would appreciate. Emily shares that she had told Lucky not to give up on Nikolas. Nikolas asks Liz to speak for him, and she says she'll do her best. Em and Liz are back in Liz's room. Audrey has set up milk and cookies. Em reassures her that even though the pain is unbearable now, it will get better. Leslie is with Laura in the living room at the Spencers' home. She says that she wishes she would have seen Nikolas, and Laura says she wants her to meet Liz. Leslie suggests that Laura tries to sleep, but Laura starts crying, asking her mother why this had to happen. Leslie tries to comfort her, but Laura tells her not to try, saying she should be grateful for the time she had. Though Leslie says Lulu still needs her, Laura sobs that she can't do it again. Mike tries to reassure Luke that it could have been anything that started the fire. Luke challenges Mike to think if it was Sonny that was killed because he had not been informed of the danger he was living in. Wouldn't Mike hate that person too?
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot. Suitcases, Tetris style.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
No going back this time. Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax, carpets.
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant. If things go to plan, it'll be smooth sailing.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Mike agrees that he would indeed hate that person too. And then Lucky's funeral was on Friday, and there were heartfelt tributes given by Luke, Laura, and Elizabeth. The church was filled with love and tears of the Port Charles citizens mourning the tragic death of young Lucky Spencer. Luke told Liz that she was the best thing that ever happened to Lucky. At the church alone, Elizabeth finally broke down after reciting the vows that she and Lucky exchanged on Valentine's Day. And then it fades to a scene that shows a large, ominous room and eerie music, and it's set to the tone, and you hear like someone picking a lock, and a frustrated Lucky jumps to his feet and shouted, "Why are you keeping me here? It's alive!" I actually watched that scene. It was good.
Did you yell, "Lucky's alive"? Were you shocked?
I was.
So little Liz, all right, Liz can't believe her Lucky is gone. She sits in the front pew of the church trying to spiritually reach out to her beloved. She can't quite believe he is gone. She asks Lucky to give her a sign. Nikolas walks in on Liz and they discuss how Lucky saved their lives. Nikolas tells Liz that she needs to get some rest. She tells Nikolas that she is afraid to sleep because she might dream about the sirens. Nikolas tells her to recount the dream she had before she heard the sirens. Liz tells him that she and Lucky were dancing in her dream. Nikolas tells her that it is probable that she will have good dreams of Lucky instead of the ones with the sirens if she goes to sleep. Liz seems to be relieved by Nikolas's logic. Felicia returns to town and goes to see Luke at the club to offer her condolences. Luke pours out his heart to Felicia. He tells her that he blames himself for Lucky's death because he trusted Sunny and Jason. He is also worried that Lulu will forget Lucky. Felicia explains to Luke that he will have to help Lulu remember by showing her the pictures and telling her stories about Lucky. Laura is a wreck. She returns home to an empty house. She finds her way up the stairs to Lucky's room. She puts on one of his jackets and holds his teddy bear and lays sobbing on his bed. Laura looks at herself in the mirror and then finds a picture of her and Lucky. Laura loses it and breaks the mirror. She is shattered in her grief. She trashes Lucky's room, screaming, "I hate you," to herself. She tears through the room, then realizes she has broken the glass in a framed Valentine. She sinks, sobbing, to the floor. Stefan finds Laura on the floor, weeping uncontrollably. Laura tells him that everything is gone. Stefan reminds her that she still has people that love her and goes down the list. Stefan tells Laura he is taking her home to Windermere. What? Lucky worked on the computer in his cell and was being secretly watched by someone. Dun, dun, dun. Mac tells Liz and Bobby that the fire was an accident started by candles left burning on Lucky's bedside table. Liz gets a horrified look on her face. She flashes back to Lucky lighting the candles to honor her. Liz then tells Sunny that she was responsible for Lucky's death, but Sunny tried to convince her otherwise. Emily comforted Nikolas and offered him advice on how to grieve. A grieving Luke imagines seeing Lucky standing before him, and Luke expresses his heartfelt pain about losing his son. Bobby visits Liz, and they grieve together.
After Bobby leaves, Liz sees the candles on the mantle and starts to flash back. We then cut to a security cam view of Lucky and pull back to the back of his captor's head. Liz tearful. So like the captor is standing in the room, but we don't see the face. We just see Lucky's face, but then just the back of what I'm assuming was probably some crazy hair.
Right.
Liz tearfully explains to Nikolas that she gave Lucky the candles and that this is her fault. He helps to convince her that it's not anyone's fault. Nikolas invites Liz to go shopping with him and Emily this weekend, trying to distract her. She thanks him for humoring her. He says it's for self-preservation. If he doesn't decorate soon, Catherine will do it. Ew, because that's when they were dating and he just got his place. Ew. While they were talking, a package arrives and it's her paintings coming back from the art academy and Lucky's picture was inside. Liz doesn't want to open it. And then we go back to Lucky where the door opens to his cell and we see the captor's face. Yes, it is Faison. And JD's at work.
Oh.
I know. He introduces himself to Lucky. Faison tells Lucky how he managed to make everyone think he is dead and that Luke in no way suspects him. When Lucky threatens to escape, Faison then threatens to hurt Liz if he does not cooperate. Then Lucky finds out that he was dead. Lucky finds out that he is now dead. Well, yeah, we just heard that. But he is very upset after viewing the clip of Elizabeth. He tries to phone her, but she can't hear him. So after Lucky found out that he was, quote, dead, he's obviously upset. And I guess Faison showed him a clip of Liz And so Lucky tries to phone her, but she can't hear him. Liz was accepted to art school, and it was a painting of a portrait of Lucky that got her accepted into art school. And she and Nikolas discuss her opportunities as she shares her stories with Nikolas about her trip with Lucky. Liz looks really sad on the docks. She flashes back to when Lucky came back from a trip Jason sent him on, and they greet each other. Cut to Lucky taking the switch plate off the door to his cell and then walking to his computer to try to hack the system and make it open the door. Liz comes in asking Bobby if she can work for a while and take her mind off Lucky. Grieving Luke and Laura packed up Lucky's room, but were still unable to reach out to each other. Overcoming with pain and frustration, Luke started throwing Lucky's things out the window. Faison gives Lucky a little too detailed account of Luke and Laura's grief. Describing the scene, Faison tells Lucky to be careful or he will never get out of that room alive. And then Laura comes in and sees Liz at Kelly's. Laura tells Liz that when she goes through picture albums, Lucky always seems happy, but he was the happiest when he was with her. Liz tearfully tells Laura that she gave Lucky the candles that started the fire. Laura tells her to stop talking that way. She does not need to blame herself. Liz falls asleep crying, thinking of Valentine's Day, and then we see a desperate Lucky continuing to try to escape, but he's unsuccessful. Liz and Laura share their grief over Lucky's demise, while a clever Lucky is able to escape from his room. But Lucky's run from freedom is foiled by Faison, who warns Lucky that harm will come to Liz if he ever tries to escape again. Laura and Liz shared a painful moment trying to explain Lucky's death to Lulu. Laura felt lonely and drowned herself in Lucky's memories and photos. Hannah and Liz chat a bit. Kelly's that actress is who he's married to, right?
Oh, I don't know.
The actress who played Hannah Scott is Jonathan Jackson's wife.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
So isn't it funny that as the storyline is separating Lucky and Liz in real life? Oh, because you know what? Juan comes up too, and that's Rebecca Hart's husband.
Yep.
Aw. See, Lucky and Liz just are all love. Okay. I don't know where I just left off. Hold on.
Nikolas wants to give Liz a job.
Yep. So then Nikolas wants to give Liz a job. He wants her to look over some of the art layouts for deception. She doesn't think she knows enough to be helpful. She thinks Gail sent him over to spy and lays into him about not needing a grief counselor, and then later says that maybe she does. Liz decides she's going back to Gail after all. Nikolas covers her shift at Kelly's while she does. Liz drops by the hospital and sees Audrey and finds out that Gail isn't in. She schedules an appointment. Liz sees Laura, who's walking around like a zombie. Liz asks why, and Laura is worrying about how she let Lucky live on the streets, knowing full well that what they can be like. Liz tells her that nothing could have kept Lucky at home. Liz tells Laura the stories of how good the times were in the boxcar with Lucky. Laura is comforted, but acknowledges that Lucky was happy because of Liz, not because of the circumstances. And then Taggart drops by Kelly's to give Liz back Lucky's subway token necklace, and they have a sweet moment together. She thanks him for being good to her, and then later alone at Kelly's, Liz played a sad song on the jukebox and looked sad, and then there's flashbacks of her and Lucky.
Laura visits Lucky's boxcar, climbs inside, looking around with a flashlight. Music montage as Laura imagines the life Lucky is never going to have, his wedding day with Elizabeth, the birth of their first child. She imagines Lucky holding his baby. Laura grieves, then envisions a surprisingly sweet scene of Liz and Lucky and their son putting the angel on the top of a Christmas tree. Oh my God, we should totally get to reenact that this year.
Yes.
Laura cries and begs Lucky for forgiveness. Laura tumbles zombie-like on the train tracks. She collapses, sobbing, and as she gets up, sees a train headed right for her. Stefan arrives in the nick of time to pull her away from the oncoming train, saving her life. An emotional Luke runs into Liz. He thanks her for loving Lucky. Luke has a vision of Lucky, telling him he and Laura are the only ones who can help each other. Luke talks about getting on with his life, that he's trying to honor Lucky by moving on. He smiles softly at his son, and my heart breaks as his smile fades as the vision of Lucky disappears. Curly Cute Girl is very invested.
Yes.
Luke flashes back to him and Laura dancing in the diner. He works his wedding ring off of his finger, brushes it across his lips, almost but not quite kissing it, stands up, and in one fluid motion tosses it into the water. And then we see Faison gives Lucky a picture of Liz standing in front of Kelly's to prove that he has her under surveillance. He also brought Lucky a chessboard and told him for every time Lucky won a match, Faison would answer one question truthfully. Then Lucky daydreams about Liz. He imagines her begging him to come back. He tells her that he can't, as it would put her life in danger. He tells her to go on with her life, that she will learn to love again, that he has to let her go. They kiss one last time. He looks at the picture of Liz and starts to cry. Aww. And then meanwhile, at Kelly's, Liz is talking to Nikolas about art school and how she didn't want to leave Port Charles without Lucky. And pictures that she drew in her life would be for him because he found the artist in her. Nikolas fears that Lucky's death has made Liz abandon her dream of being an artist. While Faison is monitoring Lucky, he is joined by a woman. Emily asks Liz to attend AJ and Carly's engagement party to help her get through the evening. Liz arrives at the Quartermains for the party. Carly tells Liz how moved she was by Liz's words at Lucky's funeral. It ticks Emily off as Carly didn't know Lucky. Emily and Lucky go up to, no, that has to be Emily and Liz, go up to Em's room and talk about how much they miss Lucky. Catherine catches sight of Nikolas having fun with Liz and Emily at the party, and she isn't very pleased. Catherine also did not get Emily's sense of humor. Yeah, that's because she was like 20 years older than her.
Mm-hmm. Helena was revealed as Faison's partner, and she warned Faison not to underestimate Lucky. Laura apologized to Sonny and said that she no longer blamed him for Lucky's death. Laura was touched by a visit from Liz, who gave Leslie Liu a painting of Foster. Aww.
Cute.
At GH, a vicious Helena taunted Laura about Lucky's death. After finding Nikolas waiting for her at the hospital, Liz warns Nikolas that he couldn't take Lucky's place in her life. Liz, however, later apologized for her outburst, and Nikolas asked her to design a t-shirt for the nurses' ball. Laura physically attacked Helena, who had been taunting her about Lucky's death. Stefan was forced to restrain Laura when she lost control during her encounter with Helena. Laura was unable to calm herself and had to be sedated, and she kept asking, "Where's Lucky?" I know. Faison visits Luke. He proposes that Luke smuggle his diamond inventory into the States and sell them for him. Faison tells Luke that this project will be lucky for him. Like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but Luke doesn't know that he's dropping a hint there.
Mm-hmm.
Liz goes to GH to see Audrey, and she runs into Nikolas, who tells her about Laura's breakdown. There are some touching scenes as he gets tears in his eyes over how helpless he is to help Laura. Catherine comes along just as Liz hugs Nikolas. Liz goes to see Luke and tells him that Laura is better. Liz showed her sketch of the nurse's ball t-shirt to Bobby. She still misses Lucky being there when she leaves a session with Gail. Then Nikolas and Emily arrive at the hospital. Emily hurt herself in hip-hop class. She tells them about the documentary she's doing for the nurse's ball. Liz showed them her drawing for the nurse's ball 1999 shirt, and they all liked it. Then Liz and Nikolas went to the Port Charles Grill, showed the sketch to both Catherine and Lucy, and amazingly, they both agreed on something. They liked the design. And that's where we're going to leave today.
I don't like all this talk about Catherine and Nikolas. Can we just forget that happened?
I know. I know. That was so gross. But I'm really glad that I found this. It's giving a lot of detail of what happened while Lucky was, quote, dead, that I would have missed. So, yay. All right. So join us on Monday as we recap this week's shows.
Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.
Looking to boost your career or just starting out? As the experts in online learning, The Open University has over 200 qualifications to choose from, like business, psychology, computing, and many more. With tutor support and courses that fit around your life, getting those in-demand skills employers are looking for isn't so far away. Register by the 11th of September to get started. The Open University. The future is open.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot. Suitcases, Tetris style.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
No going back this time. Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax, carpets.
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant. If things go to plan, it'll be smooth sailing.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.